Welcome. Welcome to modding part 3 of the 2.4 build. Has been a while since I was streaming with I was bit sick, but it's mostly back to business now. Um, Today we will install the Cartographer probe and remove tab. Main reason, I actually struggled a little bit with tab. Like I had a little bit of like unreliabilities where like tab broke. So I had to fix it, like the bracket cracked. And I also had a bit of the feeling it was drifting a bit. So something was a bit off. Um, and I wanted to play around with the cartographer anyways. So I figured that's a good reason or a good excuse to just put this in. Big benefit of this system is, of course, I guess speed. So the probing of the bed is a lot faster. But, and for me, actually the main benefit, there are no moving parts. So it's static, so there is less stuff that can break over time or like can change over time. Um, so that's why I'm quite interested in installing that. The probe itself is quite small. Well, let's see if we can open it. So it's literally just this little thing here. It's an eddy probe. I've very bad at physics and stuff. But basically there's a little coil here. Not sure if you can see that, like you can see the coil here. And this is inducing a current into the build plate, I think, or the other way around. And basically there's some magnetic stuff going on, and based on that, it can measure the distance very precisely. That's quite nice because it's very fast. It's not like a physical thing, like I don't know, like a tap that touches, or like like the old school wheel touch, where like you have a probe popping out, it moves down to touch and moves up. It's just like a digital measurement, so to say, and that makes it very fast. So basically, instead of like probe, the printer can probe in a fluid motion, which makes it very fast. The cartographer has also, not quite sure how they call it, but basically like when the nozzle touches the bed, it can measure that, or like it can also detect when the nozzle touches the bed. And this means we can use this as like as a probe, but also we get like the automatic Z offset. So that's perfect. Hey, welcome to the stream. So, um, yeah, so that's what we're gonna install today. So that's the probe, of course, comes with a little bit of tidbits here. So there's some jumpers and some stuff you can solder on, I think. Also comes with this silicone brush. I already have one installed. You cannot use the cartographer with brass brush. So these are the bamboo style silicone things. I already have one installed, but it looks very badly damaged. So potentially we just put in this one. And that's the goodie bag here. I also bought the CNC mount. So we don't have any printed parts, which I think is very nice. Comes with some screws. So this is the CNC mount. So basically this replaces the carriage, and the south burner basically goes on front here. I really hope my valves are long enough, but I think we have quite a bit of wiggle room there, so that should be fine. And then we can just install that without any printed parts. Just like the carriage, I think, is one of the parts it really pays off to have a CNC part, because it takes the most load when you print. And if this is stiffer, this will result in, or has the biggest effect on print quality, I think. Cool. Then let's just put it aside and take a look at the printer. Put this over here. So I totally forgot how big this machine is. To work on here. Still a fan of the magnetic panels. I did notice, by the way, by now, because I only have the magnets in the corners, I don't have the center ones here. It does chatter a bit. If you like print really fast, you have a bit of chatter from the panels. It's not too bad. So it's not on my high priority list to solve. Um, I don't want to touch the doors because they're now like quite well adjusted, so I will leave them. We'll leave them in. Let me see how we can. Ooh, that's the end of the table. Let me see how I can camera angle that so that you can see something. I can work. Ignore the mess in the background, please. Maybe we can work like this. I think that's quite good, right? Let me also quickly. There's a lot of like dirt in here, so maybe we can take care of that as well. Yes, here we go. And you can also see like this brush is, I think we should replace that. I had a lot of trouble making this stick though. Now it sticks, so I'm kind of like, yeah, let's get rid of this. The white stuff here is, I used construction glue in the end to glue it down. Because it was impossible to make this silicone brush stick. The first one I had was quite okay. This one was from AliExpress. I mean, first one as well. And it was like really bad. Like it did not stick at all. I'm not sure if I should. I think it will be quite difficult to remove. Let me see. Let me just quickly get the edges off a bit. Maybe that's even not the worst to put the sticker on. Oh yeah, but I see this one is better. Like this one has like the double-sided tape here is like way better. For the other one, like the double-sided tape stuck to the printed part, but it did not stick to the silicone brush itself. Yeah, it was an easy upgrade. Yeah, that's 6 bar. Cool. Then let's start with this one. So for me, the biggest challenge will be the wiring. Because we are running here the SB2209. And I really dislike how this is wired up, to be honest. So you do have, that's the wrong one. There's only one come out. Oh, now I have the camera in front of my face, but I guess that is acceptable. We also something is a bit off with the light. I think I changed something. Here we go. Now it's better. So normally, oh, I already need there's this header here, which is technically like a can. But I really dislike that I have to pull the cable from here through there, through the tool head to the bottom. Like that's kind of like, I don't know, like just a weird setup because I really like how clean this comes off. Like it's one of the main things I love about stealth burns. You can pull the front off, you can work on it. It just like falls apart, so to say. Um, if we uh, if we do that, we also have this extra cable, which is a bit annoying. So what I was thinking was we take this board out and we just solder the wires here. So we mount first everything and then we take the board out and we solder the wires basically to the backside of the connector here. That is still like on this half of the stealth burner. And then we can just basically, yeah, have it hardwired, so to say. But yeah, it's not something I plan on removing a lot, so should be okay. Potentially, we can also divide this in two and like just wire like a section, like a short section to the board, and then have like a plug somewhere in the back. Then we can still take everything out. Okay. Let's first disassemble this completely here. Before I take everything apart here, let me quickly snap a picture. Because I'm the first person to always plug stuff in the wrong ports. That happened to me before now. And we are learning, right? So I don't have to look it up later, what goes where. I think I know why I had first layer offset issues. Not sure if I now said it or if I just thought about it. So basically, I had a bit of issues with inconsistency in the first layer, and this whole board, I'm not sure if you can see that, is like a little bit like loose. And that definitely causes the issue because then the switch moves up and down a bit. Overall, like besides that, I think I have now like a pretty well working tap. Not sure why I didn't see that issue before, but let's take it apart. The end stop switch we have to reuse. Let me see. I think I can just take it off here. We have a little like basket or something where I can collect stuff. Just, oh, this one I can put back. And I'll just collect these here. Let's see. Nope, come out. Here we go. Yeah, now you can also see it here. Like this is a bit loose. And it's basically the optical switch here. And if that is loose, of course, like you get inconsistencies in your first layer. Let's be careful with this rail. So smart person would have had something to put the carriage on, but I guess I have to do it like this. Still okay. Just have to be a bit careful. And actually see, I don't know if this like just now happened, but there's one ball here on the side. Let's see if I can. Put this back. Like, it's not a big deal if you lose a few balls because you can always add them back in with a bit of like careful maneuvering. If you lose balls on a linear bearing, there's no way to put it back in. Actually, let me just, I can leave that in one piece. The only thing we need to do is we need to remove the bells, of course. And before I remove the bell, let's also, I will fully release the tension on the front iders here. Quite funny. Not sure if you can see it on camera. It's like a bit yellow here. I think that's from the grease of the linear rail. It must have like splashed a little bit here over time. Oh, I was like, where did the screw go? Because I saw it fall, but then like I didn't hear the impact. Yeah, I think overall, like I really liked that. But like I had like two defects now. Like for I mean, defect is like this one was loose. I call it a defect, but it did prevent it from working properly. And the other one was I actually don't remember which part. One part was cracked from the tap assembly. Okay. We also have to remove this micro switch here. Do I have... And this one I will just leave in one piece. I think I will just like put it in deep storage. Let me see if I can put this back on. So it's like doable without this external rail thingy. You just have to be careful and don't put force on it. Here we go. Just don't push it. Just be very gentle. And if it doesn't want to go, don't force it. Maybe we can even. That was the short. Let me show this. Let me just quickly put this back together. Now use a long screw. Yeah, that's a long screw. I need a short screw here. Okay, I'm clearly not capable of doing that. There's no end stop now on top. Careful. Okay, that's back together. The switch we need in a second. Then I think this goes in that direction. Or does it need to be in this direction? Let's check the menu. Hardware setup. Oh, this is not including this one. Okay, let's quickly check. I think Mr. DSI, do you know that? Of the box, or from top of your head, like does it go in this way or this way? Oh wow, my chat didn't update. Now suddenly there's like a million chat messages. Sorry, I missed everything. Like the window was completely empty. Now it just like and everything popped in. Hi there, Mr. DSI. I replaced my panels to Pier 1. I'm reaching 75 with a bad almost stuff is grady and cheap. Yeah, I'm actually also thinking of having non-acrylic panels. Especially for the top, I was thinking of having like aluminum debond. Because the problem is like when I talk to you, let me quickly move the camera. The problem is that my cat likes to jump on top, and I don't trust these 3mm acrylic panels. So yeah, I'm thinking at least for top, I will most likely do like an aluminum debond panel. No beacon, no beacon. I do the Cartographer. The reason why I do the Cartographer is the canvas support. I think beacon still does not support canvas, if I'm not mistaken. You may want to print the shields to add to the bottom of the Cartographer to protect the resistor. That's a good hint. I will check that. Which mod are you using? SP2209. SP2209. That will also be like a bit of like the shit show in air quotes. Because I don't want to have the canvas cable from the breakout board on the front. Like I think that's just stupid. So we will solder the wires to the back of the main SP2209 board. I think the root cause is printed parts and high chamber temp. Yeah, I think so too. Like this is like it's a very sensitive part, so to say, right? Like any minor change throws off your let offset and it's printed part. I think if I would have kept the tab, I most likely would have switched to a CNC version at some point. But yeah, now like I think the eddy probe is nice, but I have to plan on making this an index printer, like the Bondtech index, and that most likely will not be compatible with the Cartographer. Like I'm not quite sure yet. So potentially Cartographer will be moved to the switchwire. Upgrade to another tool while you're at it. Same reason. I most likely will switch to index, and then the entire toolhead thing will become irrelevant. So for now, stealth burner it is. It works, but so much more potential from other tools. Yeah, yeah, I agree, but because I know that I want to switch to index, most likely. I mean, it's not out yet, so but I think they want to start a pre-ordering this month. So yeah, that's why I kind of like have my foot on the brake for now on different toolheads. Holes on the bottom with stats forward. Yeah, I think that's also what I remember from the switchwire. Okay, I caught up with messages. I have no clue why my chat didn't update. Now I'm a bit afraid that I miss more messages here. But also the on-stream chat was stuck, right? Really weird. Well, sorry for missing the messages. So that means stats forward, holes to the bottom. Let me see. Most likely we can recycle the screws we had. Yeah. I do want to add a tiny bit of thread locker here though. Especially now that we don't have printed parts, I think thread locker is way to go. I don't have a kitchen towel here though, so I will make a mess and then I will have to grab kitchen towel. Yeah. Let me put it on the screw instead. And because it's not printed parts, is it the outer? Yeah, it's the outer. We can make a bit of a mess and it doesn't matter too much. So I'm not fully tightening this yet. Maybe it's even best to first put the let me remove it again. So somebody told me recently that the set time on thread locker is really long actually. So now I'm way more chill with these things. So just have to pull it through for now. I'm not going to tighten this down yet. Let's see. Oh, it's a bit fiddly with having the bells. Wait, this is the bottom one. Yeah, it's also like let's make sure that they're not over cross. And then we can pull them to the correct teeth count in a second. Okay, so that is on. Just make sure that they're like somewhat equal, especially equal top bottom. That's the important part. Like they can be unequal left to right. Like we can do it like this, like very short here and long here. That doesn't matter. The important part is like top and bottom needs to be somewhat aligned. Ideally, you have the exact same tooth count. But you can compensate a bit with the idlers. I'm just making sure that the top and bottom are the same. Let me actually also put in the two other screws, and then we can tighten that down. I have one. You may also want to consider getting a stick version of the thread locker. Yeah. I also thought about that. Whoa. See, now I made a mess. Let me quickly get the kitchen towel. Yes, the stick version is way better, but it's not sold in my local hardware store. 1 second. I think I accidentally, oh no, I thought I muted myself, but I did not. Usually what I do, oh yeah, I actually have some here. So I usually just put a drip on something like this. And then I just put the screw in the drop. I'm not sure why I didn't do that in the first place now. Okay. I think we will need more thread locker, so I'll just park it on the side here. Okay, then that looks about the same to me. So I will just lock that down. I think that will already prevent the belts from slipping through. Yes. That actually locks down both sides. Okay, I think now it's even on all four. Let's double check. Yeah, that looks good. It's like such a difference how the screws tighten in the aluminium. Like in the aluminium, it's like you twist and then there's like a really hard stop where the screw is just in. And on plastic, like it's always like you can do a little bit more. As you're not putting the X end stop. Oh shit, I forgot. Yeah, but I will do that now. That's a good one. The question is, how does the cable run? I think we can put the cable through here if that fits. Yeah, that fits. So the end stop goes here, of course. Yeah. The question is, what kind of screws do we need? I see there are two screws in here that should be. My mount has little clamps for the belts. I don't think. Oh yeah, it comes with clamps. Yep. But also already now it's like they are locked in already. Okay, so we have very tiny screws for the end stop. Let's do the end stop first. Again, would have been easier to do it before, right? But why easy if you can do hard? That's one. Find the hole. Okay, this is mounted. Then yes, this one comes also with these little clamps here. Let me see. Okay, that should be it. Yeah, the belt tension is like not good, of course. I think we could have maybe pulled like one more tooth, but it's okay. We have a lot of like room here with the idlers to correct that. Okay, then technically this could already go back on, but let's do the cabling first for the cartographer and everything. Oh, also, maybe it would have been easier to also put the cartographer already on. I was so focused on the mount. Yeah, but it's fine. We'll manage. Let's just move it up. Yeah. Okay. Um, I don't want to plug it in yet. I think we can mount it and plug it in later. Just because I have it like handy, I will add a little bit of thread locker to these screws, but I don't think that's needed. Okay, then the fun part. The fun part. We need to also unplug the motor, of course. Wiring. So, does anyone? So, we have this wire here. So it fits through here. Yeah, also like, so I think it's best to kind of like pull it through here. Um, Suggest that you put your wires through and hold them on though. Yeah. Let's take that one second. Did you flash a cartographer already? Is it boot switch easy to reach? This should be pre-flashed with the Canvas firmware. So as far as I am concerned, this should work on first try. If the boot switch is easy to reach, I'm not sure where it is. That's something we'll figure out if we need it, but I think it's fine. Okay, so the wiring. So technically, we would be required. Let's just put it together. So this is the main toolhead board, and then we have this breakout board here, and they basically go together like this. And we have the can high, can low, and ground and 24 volt here in the front. And conveniently, the pins here are actually labeled. So from this connector on the back side, what I would do, I would solder 4 wires to these 4 pins here. I'm just wondering if it's easier. Oh, they're not accessible. Because like on the front here, you also have the can high, can low. Like this is the same plug basically, right? It's the in. And the problem is that the can high and can low here are not accessible because this plug is on top. So I think our best bet is having this here on the back, soldering this here. And what I would do then is, let me see. I think I would put a little tiny bit of VHB tape here. And let's just have a DuPont plug here that just goes from here to here. There should be enough space. There should be enough space. But technically, we can also have the DuPont somewhere in the back here, because like there's definitely space. Oh, I still touched. Right. Is there space? Technically, we can also just have it down here. I'm just trying to find a way how we can unplug it easily if need to, without having like a random connector flying around. Let me just quickly put this on here. Actually, we can put this on here already. I don't think we need to take this off. And okay, so there's definitely space here. So what I would do is I would just run a cable. And it's a bit stupid, like you don't see it from the right side. Maybe we'll take that a bit more. So a cable from, I mean, this originates somewhere here. How can I show that? So this originates somewhere here, goes to the back here, somewhere here, and then here we have a small connector where you can unplug it. So lengthwise, something like this. Okay, let's solder the 4 wires, and then we can figure out the exact length. Hi there, Steve. Welcome. They come already flashed from their plugin not clipper. Yeah, exactly. Like you also have to select if you want to have the canvas or the USB firmware, and then it comes pre-flashed. So space. So I will just use the wire they give us here. The only thing I need to quickly check is if yellow or white is can high and can low. I never get that straight. So I remove teeny tiny bit of the cable sleeving. Good luck, thank you. Will be fine. I never killed SB2209 before. No, I also would need solder. Yellow is can hide, thank you. Okay, this here, let's also add a tiny bit of solder to the tips of the cable. Just checking that if I lean forward to do that, that you don't have my hair in the picture. Then let's just start top to bottom. So all the zoom we have, thought we have more zoom. That means ground would be first. No, but now I can't lean forward, so oops. Well, we'll figure it out. Let's see. Solder here. That is number one. Will that hold? That would be interest. Like that's kind of like the long-term study. I am aware that this might break at some point, but I think it will be okay. Then yellow is can low, can high. So white is can low. We also do something professional and use tweezers. I'm just checking where's 24 volts. I don't see 24 volts here. I don't see 24 volts. I see V fan, V fan, fan. Okay, let's quickly measure. Because one of them needs to be 24 volts. It's 5 volts? It's 5 volt. Thank you for saving my cartographer, Steve. 5 volt, I see. Yeah, that doubles as a strain relief later. Perfect. That's it. Let me do a quick tuck test. We can do like a quick connectivity check. Oh, that doesn't work. So our red one should, I mean, not sure where's 5 volt. That's good to check later, but like ground should go to ground. That's the case. Um, hmm. Yellow should go to one of these. Yep, and white should go to the other. And 5 volt, I'm not quite sure where I can grab 5 volt on the board. Would be one of these two pins. Yeah. So that seems to be good. And again, you don't have to do this. Like if you install this, you can literally just use the cable they gave you and plug it into these four ports here. But then like, yeah, you have this like weird thing where you have to unplug it. I don't like that. I find this a lot cleaner. Before I pack that away, I think we might need that in a second. Because we still have to separate this cable here. Or do we? That's a question, right? Oh no, I definitely now have to take out a bit because now it's way too long. So let me quickly check what my crimping box has to offer. For cables. I think the easiest would be like a JST, that we also solder like a JST here. I'm not a huge fan of soldering these things on the toolhead, to be honest. I think that's the best connector I have available. We have 3-pin of the smaller ones, I think. I only have 6-pin and 3-pin of the small JC, the PH. That's awkward. Yeah, I'll do it for. Let's do the small one. Okay. Let's quickly figure out the length we have to do here. 24 will kill it. Yes, I know. But for me, canvas is always 24. Okay. Let's maneuver this in here. And then I think something like this length here is good. Tiny bit shorter maybe here. Maybe a bit more flexible cables would have been better here, to be honest. And I positively hate soldering these. I know they are usually like meant for to be soldered to like a PCB. Where did I put the solder? I said I will need this, and then I put it somewhere. Where did I put it away? Oh, stupid me. Oh wait, that's 5 pins. This is 4 pins, but it's a big one. I think I grabbed the wrong one. 4 pins. Let's try this again. You need to be really fast with these if you hold the soldering iron to them for too long. It will melt the plastic. These also need a bit of solder before we can put them on. The order doesn't matter too much. Actually, let me make the contact area here a bit longer. It doesn't have to be that short. And again, you don't have to do this if you install this. Like, you can just go straight for the standard cable they give you, and this will work. And also, let's add a little bit of isolation there. Oh yeah, Steve, you also had to send me a small shrink wrap. Yes. I always forget them. I'm curious how this will hold up over time because generally, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of soldering at the tool head. Yeah, I should. Now it was a bit too long. And I melted the housing. Like, these are really iffy. Okay, let me try a new connector. I think I already ruined this one. Actually looks okay. The other trick would be to put the plug on the other side. Let's actually do that. I think we should use a new connector here. So I think we should put the plug on the other side. That prevents the pins from moving. Luckily, we have a couple more. I don't have a hot glue gun, but yes, this would be amazing. Hot glue guns on my to purchase list since forever, and someone never managed. Okay. Let me redo the ground here. Okay. Professionally, I would have cut them to the exact same length, but you can't have it all in life, right? Yeah, I think I should have used silicone wires here. It would have been like most likely easier. You clean up. Maybe crimp the other side and plug it. That will be more terminal. Yeah, that is also a trick I know. But I don't want to crimp the other side yet because I don't know how long this should be. So I first now wanted to install that. And that would clamp the cables a bit. I think that's quite good. I think it sits correctly in here. Ah, no. Yeah, that's quite a good length now. And you don't see it, but so now we can. Yeah, I think technically, looking at this now, we could have done this in one go, but like without this like intermediate plug here. My idea was like that the cable here is not too long, but like technically, yeah. Okay, I would not have done this again. I think I would have done this in one go. So we will do something like this. Those cables are everywhere now. The black one is like a lot shorter now. This is the fun part if you cut them like directly how they fall. Okay. Black one is a lot shorter now. Okay. Let's go roll with that. No, let's shorten the others a tiny bit. Too long. Let's see. That's the wrong one. They're a little bit mixed. The two sizes are a little bit mixed. I have to be really careful to not pick the wrong one. Yeah, but these cables are quite good to crimp. Wrong one. Okay, then quickly check the. This one is black. Then it's white. Yellow. Red. It's quite a funny cable now because it's like the same plugs on both sides, which actually is not ideal now that I think about it. Because now you need to pay attention in which direction you plug this in. I should have soldered to this cable, to the short. Oh, I'm not showing it. I should have soldered to the short cable and I crimped the long cable. But I will do this now. That should also make it clear. But yeah. Also, just to double check, this cable does not fit the other way around. Not that it'll mess up. No, it doesn't fit the other way around because then the plus and minus are mixed. Nevertheless, let's quickly check the pinout of the Cartographer just to be 100% sure. Yeah, there was no needed to add the plug here. I could have just left it longer. Oh, this one I had behind the board, so that we need to fiddle behind there in a second. But it fits in nicely, so there's nothing, no problem here fit-wise. Would be better without it. Okay, we clean up the crimp stuff. Cartographer pin out. Is there? It seemingly says on the board, but that's not very hard to read for me. Recrimp a nice cable? What? I mean, as far as cables go, this is nice, I think. I mean, the only thing is like I can resolder it, but I have to redo everything, right? I'm not gonna do that now. Oh, hi, the Raven Keeper. Whoop. Wrong one. The crimping itself is okay. Like it's just the cable setup is not ideal. Yeah, but I see 5 volt and ground, and 5 volt is on red. So this is correct. Just want to be certain about that because that would be such a classic me to mix this up. Okay, but I think then we can put it together. Because hardware-wise, this is it. So the only thing now is I kind of want to have this cable again behind. I think I have to loosen that again to push that through there. Here we go. Now that's also nice and tidy. Let me quickly check which port this was because I always messed it up. I literally messed it up like multiple times before and stuff didn't work and I was like very confused. This goes here. Let's see if we can turn the printer a bit. You can see that. Goes here. Then we have the funky cable. It goes to the probe port. Oh, but this one we don't need anymore, right? This one is completely out. We don't need this cable because that connected the tap. We don't have a tap to connect anymore, so that's out. And then I'm thinking, but besides the thermistor cable, that should be okay, right? Oop, go in there. Let me first plug this in. There we go. Yeah. So it would have been better without the plug in the middle. Okay. But I think this is nicer than having the cables on the front connected here. Okay. But I think we are missing the screws. On the top here. That's why this falls down. Also, because I still have like a bit of thread locker flying around. There's a tiny bit of thread locker here. Make sure there's no thread locker on these screws because ABS doesn't like that, but then this is not a like critical section of the part, so just tiny bit of thread locker on it, it's not too bad. Seems too far in. So basically I just want a bit of resist, like a bit of friction here that holds it in place and doesn't fall down, but like it shouldn't be tight. And then last but not least, we put the front on. No need for thread locker. I like my thread locker. I still have a bit to use here, so or to use up. Also, this is like now threading into metal, so this is like a lot nicer. Yeah, this is so much more like stable than on the tap. On the tap there was quite a lot of flex, but now with the CNC mount, rock solid. Like the entire printer, like if I wiggle here, the whole printer wiggles. Okay. I have two screws left over, so I'm wondering what I forgot to screw in, but I think nothing. Let's also close the lid here. It was for the Teplos FRS cable. Okay, maybe. Not sure. It's closest. Oh, by the way, Mr. DSI, like in the beginning you said like that you had to replace this part. For me, the cable is still totally fine here. Like there's no sign of anywhere. I think it really depends on the cable type because I have these super flexible silicone cables here. They have no trouble, but I think if you have more stiff cable, it definitely might break. My input shape was actually super horrible. Uh, Y was fine, X was absolutely horrible. But I didn't want to look into that yet because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like change the whole tool head anyways. So like or like the mount in this case. That's actually quite a lot of dirty on the rail. Let me clean this up. Okay. Okay, then let's kind of like preliminary tension the bells, just that it doesn't skip. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this is so like this is rock solid. This is rock solid. Okay. Technically we can throw it on. Um, the only thing I now didn't check, but I think it was fine. We didn't check for shorts on the solder connections I did, but we checked they are like connected, but I didn't check for shorts to the surrounding ones. That might bite me in the ass in a second, but I'm optimistic. Let me quickly get rid of the solder stuff here and I have a bit more space. Okay. Okay. Here you get the unobstructed view. And actually, in case we have magic smoke, let me give you the full experience. Let's quickly open this up again. Here it goes. All nothing. 3, 2, 1. I see LEDs. Looks good. Okay, now the fun part. So this here a bit. Don't need flags anymore. That we don't need. Okay. Then let's start the software fun. Looking at the manual, kind of like on the side, software configuration. The following plugin, Clipper version 0.13. Let's quickly check first what we have, right? Let's check what we have. We have 1.3.190. I'm not gonna update Clipper because I have very bad track record with this. Like I always collect all the bugs. Clipper setup. So necessary to remove all this from scanner. Yes, we don't have that. Includes now open Moonraker conf file. Here you want to remove old Cartographer plugin. We don't have that. Once you save and restart, that is fine. Installation of the Clipper plugin. We just copy this. Yep. Let's quickly add this agent to the machine. Here we go. I will just run this magic script. And it seemingly did stuff. So that's good. Then we configure the Moonraker update manager. Let me quickly check where this needs to go. I think in the Moonraker conf update manager. Yes, I'll just pop it on the bottom. Let's just save that for now. Configure Clipper. Below are the minimum required options listed. Except for temperature sensor blocks, you can omit those. Okay. Oh, the temperature. Cartographer has a temperature sensor. Nice. Let's first check that we find it on canvas. That will be the interesting part. Yes, we found it. Ha! Amazing, it works. Nice. I was a bit nervous for that. Not gonna lie. Let's check. So we need to go step by step. As Steve likes to point out, my setup here is quite horrible from the configuration. And now that I didn't work on that for a second, I actually will also struggle. Then, yeah, this is already set. And then we need to set the retract distance to 0. Which is set here to 0. We remove that. What is... Okay. Then we need to add a new MCU here. Well, following this convention here, Cartographer gets its own file, but like let's just plop it here for now. We copy Canvas UUID here. Hi, Dom. Welcome. So then we need the Cartographer section. I was like, we'll reorganize these. Steve or Mr. Desai, I think you both use Cartographer. Do you have the X and Y offset handy for the stealth burner? I think the X offset is 0 The Y offset, I'm not sure. I will guesstimate 20 now. We need to check later to be precise. Then we have bad mesh. Bad mesh we already have. We now will have a lot more points. I think speed 300. Then horizontal moves that 3. Mesh min max I will leave. Adaptive margin 10. And then mesh PPS 00. I have to A4Ts with different people. Okay, too bad. Then we'll need to do some research. And what kind of algorithm do they? They don't say that. Okay. Then temperature sensor. Let's just throw that in here as well. Then the ADXL. Yes, we want to change that. Yeah, again, like I will patch it up. Let's first put all the cartographer stuff here. Then resonance tester, we already have configured in the other file. I think that was correct. Let's just double check. Yeah, but then let's also take this out here and move that here. Okay. I think that was it. Let's quickly check stealth burner cartographer CNC mount offset. Right on Facebook. Yeah, this is what we have. Does it say offset here? No. Maybe remove the probe section and do you have safe set homing in a config? Not yet, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's leave it for 20 for now. Do I have safe set? I think I do. Somewhere. Not here. No, I don't have safe set home yet. Let me quickly check. So continue with scan or touch calibration. Let's first quickly do like a firmware restart here to see if our config technically works. And yes, the resonance tester is not in the center of the bed. I noticed that before. 0 reference position in section bed mesh. Okay. Where's bed mesh? Here. 0 reference position. Blank blank. The center of your bed. Okay. 150, 150. And then you said by resonance tester. Yes, it's not in the center of my bed. Just do a quick measure from nozzle to middle of the probe. Should be around 15 to 70 millimeter. Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I would just prefer to have like, like somebody measured it for me in cut. I think we're pretty much spot on with 20 millimeters. I think it's more like 22, but like it's pretty spot on. Let's put it to 22. Uh, so now the question is, pin is not valid in section probe. Probe. Pin. Well, this is not valid anyways, right? This must be gone. I don't think we need probe at all, right? Yeah, hash probe section. Yeah. We don't need that anymore. Then the question is, stepper Z end stop is not triggered. Cartographer is also triggered, which is not what I want to see because it's like very far up the bed. Let's do scan calibration. So this one we did set. Home the printer is now just difficult. Because if I home it now, it will say that the Z is still triggered after retract. Oh, interesting. I think is it's now like further back. I know. This was here. Needs to be here. Interesting. Okay. Now it should work. Let me try again. PI sheet is not mounted yet, no? I should do that. Let's see if I can try to slide it in from the side here. PI sheet is mounted. Let's quickly try again. Scan model not loaded. Okay. Needs metal to detect. Yeah, that's fair. Scan model not loaded. What does scan model not loaded mean? By the way, the webcam still randomly craps out. Like, I did not fix it yet. What does scan model not loaded mean? Ah, wait, yeah. If I would read correct, I would home XY only. And then I need to say Cartographer scan calibrate. So I have to wiggle this down now. If I would have been smart, well, let's click 250 times, depending on where this. The LED went on the probe. There's like a blue LED somewhere. And so I don't think I can show it on the camera, but oh yeah, there you see like the blue LED between the belt and the there. So it detected something. Um, I think this is 0.1. I mean, I'm not quite sure if I should use the paper method or if you already do, you can run touch home followed by, yeah, okay. Let's roll with that for now. Then let's still do something. Except we already did. I used the site UI dialog and then save config. Okay. And now we should be able to home, I assume. We still have to do the belts, by the way. Perfect. We have a home printer. Cartographer tab should take care of the bad cross-country level of the gantry during the calibration. I think so. Because it says something about that. Let's do touch calibration. Zero reference position we have done. We homed, prepare your run. Ensure that your nozzle and bed is clean. The nozzle is not clean at the moment, so I would quickly run my clean nozzle. Or like actually, it's just to do it manually. 300. Oh, it's maybe a bit much, but 100. Let me quickly heat the nozzle to 250. And do some good old brushing. Okay. So there's nothing on the bat. Printed tab is 3 to 5 millimeters thicker than solid X carriage. Yeah, I think like I will gain some travel there. Oh, it's actually interesting. Most likely I have to adjust my nozzle cleaning macro. We also have to check that. Okay, this is cold enough now. So let's do touch calibrate. Oh, 150 it requires. Okay, let's wait. The brass brush near the carto is not okay? I mean, I'm not brushing the carto itself, right? Okay, it's doing it. We'll not do it again, Steve. Very slow. Let's again. Keep your finger on the emergency stop button. It's getting closer and closer to the bat. It doesn't touch it. Doesn't touch it yet. Let's see what it's doing. I showed one of mine with the brass brush, and they do say to not use them. Yeah, I saw that you should not use them, but my thing was like it's more like for the macro to not use them. But lesson learned. Then I need to have like a silicone brush to do it by hand, because sometimes I do not use the macro, but just like brush by hand. Still doesn't touch it. Yeah, observe your nose to make sure it touches the bat. So far, it doesn't touch it. No, it touches it actually. Yeah, now it touches. It will as long as the card is no more than 2.8 millimeters higher than the nozzle. I think that's for me fine because I have the CNC mount, so I don't think there's any wiggle room for me to have the card mounted differently. Read your console. Will be showing you it calibrating. Yeah, I see it here. Like it basically just moves through all samples. Oh, now it's done. Save config. Okay. Print start template. Yeah, that's the next thing we need to do. We need to update our print start. So we have to reset the G-code offset. Okay, let's see. Then heat nozzle. Um, okay, then we heat to 150. We raise. We set the bed temperature. Then we do quad country level. Then we do the cartographer touchdown. Okay, so basically looking at this, this can all stay. We wait for the bed here. So after this, we need to say M109 S150. So we preheat the nozzle. And then we say cartographer touch home. And they do quad country level before that. Dum, 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 dum. Where do we do quad country level? Oh, I have the home macro here that does the quad country level. But the home macro also, it brushes the nozzle before. We don't need that here. We don't need that here anymore because before we had to clean the nozzle before homing because the tap was, of course, very sensitive to that. So we just do this. And then before we do the cartographer touch home, we do the cartographer touch home. The bed mesh calibrate, we can actually, yeah, we should also do it after bed temperature, of course. That's it. I think that's a macro we can use. You should have done quad country level by now before calibrating the touch, but instructions have all changed since and so on. Yeah, like I will now do the homing at the quad country level. Then I will clean the nozzle and then I will touch home. Belts. We have to do belts. Belts, 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 belts. Or is that okay? No, we first have to home. Then we have to quickly move that to pretension levels a bit. And then we put it to center X and 200 on Y. And then we use our trusty little gauge. No, actually it was like not too bad with my. I put them to 2.1 usually. Okay, I think that's good. That looks good to me. I should also check the Z belt tension at some point. I didn't do that for a while. Technically, we could do a shape or calibrate now, but this table is not good for that. I would need to put the printer on the floor. So I will do it later. So just forgive bad shaper results now. I mean, technically, let's just run it. Screw it. Just don't look at the shaper results because like this table is really bad. Like it's very wiggly. I'm just leaning on it to like maybe help a bit, but I don't think this will do much. So basically when you do a shaper calibrate, you should always have the printer on a very stable surface because like right now you're measuring the resonances of the printer with the table, but it's not necessarily what you want. The printer is like a closed system so that the bed, if the whole printer moves, the bed and the tool head moves at the same in the same like amount and direction, so that you don't have to compensate that. You only have to compensate for the tool head basically or the motion system. And right now you're measuring also the resonance of the table, but you don't want to compensate for that. So that's why usually you get the best results if you just put it on the floor. Oh, you should have done it. Oh, Steve, I now read your message again, and now I understand what you meant. I should have done a quad gantry level before calibrating the touch. So then it's recalibrate the touch. You should do the shape calibrate when the printer is going to be. Oh, really? I have completely different information, Steve. Like for me, it's like you should do it on the floor. Because like the thing is like right now, like you measure the printer plus the table, but the printer. So when it prints and it moves on a table, like the whole printer system moves in one thing. That was my understanding of the whole thing. The X shaper was really bad before. Quad gantry level before belt tension. Yeah. Yeah, I mean now it's off anyways because we did do the belt tension. Quad gantry level also before input shaper. That has an impact. I have to redo it anyways because like we also don't have panels and stuff. So that's just to kind of get an idea of where we will be. But the touch hole we should redo. I mean already. Yes, I'm measuring at the carto. We already changed that. So the cartographer is closer to the nozzle, so it gives better results technically. I'm really not sure how big of a difference it is. You will get better shaper results anyway. Yeah. The plastic tap is not good. Like I had horrible results on X. Like I was like at 3 hump EI, which is definitely not good. But yeah, I didn't look into it. But the CNC mount will have a big impact. Let's see. Yeah, the numbers are already like a lot higher that it recommends for acceleration. And X is already on MZV. So that solved the problem I had because like X was on 3 hump EI. MZV is perfect. Not gonna chance unicorns, but yeah, both are MZV, so it's perfect. Let's do save config, and then we do quickly the calibrate again. Oh, now the this happened again. So for some reason my cable here is behind the cable chain. Didn't notice that before that happens. Nice. Yeah. I maybe Steve, do you know that? Can I increase the probe speed a bit, or is that the probe speed of the that I need? I'm gonna do the touch calibrate again. With bad quad country level, belt tension changes and also belts can rub on pulleys. Fair point. I will not redo the shaper now, but I'll do it later again. With this machine, I actually do the shape because the machine sits back here usually, and this is rock solid. So I usually just do the shaper on that spot anyway. So I do what Steve recommends. I completely removed my chain. Yeah, I'm also thinking about it. Like the chain is really annoying. It's not like there's a bazillion cable going through it anyways. Leave it as is. Yeah, okay. Let's save configuration. And we should also do a bad mesh quickly, right? Oops. Move out of range. 10 minus 12, 3. Odd. Most likely must be something with the mesh. Mesh. Min? How would it be at minus 12? Your Y offset has moved? Yes, but would that mean that we need to set 30 here? Most likely, right? 270, 270. Let's try this. Yes, 300 millimeter per second bed mesh. Let's try again. Uh-oh. What's that? It's most likely some dirt under the sheet. Okay, I'm not gonna fix it now, but most likely there's some dirt under the sheet, and that's why the sheet is pushed up. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. Didn't know that I had like a little hill here, but it's looks good. There was crap on your Mac sheet. Yeah, exactly. There's something under the sheet. Cool. Shall we do a print? Let's do a print. Uh, let's first do the slicer stuff. Uh, let's do our classic Voron cube. Top. Oops. And we're gonna print PLA. This one was not in my bag, so chances are this is really wet. Let's see. Let's see. We have a bit of bowling, yes. Let me quickly put bowling tube in here. It's like the first time I put film in a printer, seemingly. Okay, here we go. Let me actually open this. You have like a nice view. Let's print this. Sorry for the flickering with the light. Oh, I don't have to do G28 and G32 now. G32 is sufficient. Before I did G28, brush the nozzle and then do G32, but I don't need to do this anymore, of course. You forgot that offset? It's been set by touch calibrate. Yeah, exactly. It should be handled. Offset is only for baby stepping then. Just follow the manual. Yeah, I think we don't have to do anything there. Yeah, I need to do something with this cable here in the back, like it always goes behind the chain. Okay, let me quickly take you. Too many retries. What? Let's try this again. We'll see if the bad quad level during calibration is zeroed by the tab function. Let's see. Well, so far, I don't have a quad level working. Here we go. Okay, not sure why this didn't work the first time. Then we now clean the nozzle, which we didn't correct the position. So I'm curious if the brushing will work or not. Oh, quad level needs to be okay. No, the bed is not a temp yet. It is a temp. but it's not like super at temp. So I think I need to change the macro there a bit. Yeah, the brush is next to the brush. That does not brush right now. So it's like it's definitely like I don't know, like 5 millimeters off. Let's quickly try it with correct brush position. So X is of course okay. So we just have to quickly adjust the Y position of the brushing. Mine used to fail the heat expansion to make it wait until the bed was temp or pre-soak for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's a good one. But let me actually just set the bed back to 60 here. Then we don't have the problem, I guess. Uh, then that is good. So Y 293. 293. 293 and 289. Macros, prime and brush. Move to this one is fine. Brush 293. Let's do 291 and 295, something like that. And this was 89 we said. Let's try this again. Oh, also what I forgot now in the macros, we can remove the G28. On my NO3NG, I have two thermistors, one at the back of the bed, like every other one, and one at the top of the bed. We need at least 5 minutes at 60 degrees for the bed to heat. So yeah, I actually don't even have a chamber thermistor yet. This also my to-do list. Not, yeah, no, always hit so 5 minutes unless it's already printed. Yeah, I already do that. Just not for PLA usually. But usually I just let it heat soak for like 20 minutes or so. Okay, it goes down to 150. And then it should do the tap calibrate. Oh. It does touch. Very quick bad scan. Very small mesh. And it's a PLA printing temps. I've set my print start macro to wait until the top of the bed is plus minus 5 degrees of the set temperature. Yeah. I think like having like second bed thermistor is actually quite a smart approach. Oh, that's a bit bit too short here. Pulled out the bone. Looks like a good first layer on first glance. I'm not sure why we don't have something is a bit wrong with the macro, I think. Looks like quite okay first layer. I think I would prefer it to be a little bit more squish. Tiny bit. I think it's a big upgrade. Like just not having to worry about all these like mechanical parts and like screws coming loose and shit like that. That's good. And yeah, I think it's a big upgrade. Like this machine, I just want to hit print and I know it comes out great. That's the only thing that really is important for me on this machine. Chamber thermistor is something I really have to do for that. And then yeah, for me, like the machine itself, like the camera I have to fix, like this annoys the hell out of me. But besides that, like I really only wait for index. Like I decided to not go with self changer, but just go with index because I think it's a nicer solution. It's also a bit more modern, it's a bit newer, it's fun. But you also don't have to build like a million tool heads. And I'm not gonna do like many tool heads from the beginning, maybe like even two. Just setting it up. Adding more tool heads later on should be quite easy. Maybe I do four, I don't know. But yeah, for me, most of the things I want to do with multicolor is like most likely two things. Just would be nice to have like different nozzle sizes preloaded. That don't have to swap nozzles. Yeah. Autofocus is fixed. I'm sorry. Now it's manual. Different support material, 100%. Mixing patchy and PLA for support. I can't wait for that. But yeah, most things that realistically that I do is just having yeah, different colors for like texts and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to that. That would be really nice. What's the flow we're pushing at the moment? 16? Yeah. First, if we now get a little bit of under exclusion, because now I'm pushing the flow a bit, like it peaks at 30, 32. It's like a nozzle cam. It looks pretty good. And that's a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, by the way. I mostly run 0.6 on that. I do have like this gunky old 0.4 flying around here that is sometimes used. It's not even a high flow. But most of the things I print on this machine in 0.6 is way too low. Something like that. With the 2.4, only printing closed ABS is don't trust printed parts. I went from 5x CNC kit on mine. Yeah. Full CNC on 2.4. Yeah, I think the things like the beefier parts, like the XY joint stuff, I think they're kind of okay because you just have a bit more mass. But yeah, eventually I might also consider replacing those with CNC parts. I think it also depends on how much you push the machine, right? Like the faster you print, the more you have like forces on these parts. It's handling the flow quite well. cooling is now a bit tricky, I guess. I'm not pushing it that much now. I use 0.6. Yeah, okay. With 0.6, like speeds are always lower anyways. I think this cube has some cooling issues. Well, it's not that bad. There's some black still in the bottom because I had the black wasn't fully purged out seemingly. And there's definitely like here on the overhangs, you see there's some cooling issues. I really pushed it now on the top part. But overall, like this is okay. I will have to spend a little bit more time tuning that. I think pressure advance is also not very nice. Like there's a bit of like bulging on the corner. But overall, that's quite okay. I do have to tune this machine a bit more. Also, there's like pressure advance, like maybe not ideal with this bridge. But the first layer is really good. There's maybe hair of an elephant's foot, but it's very, very nice. I quickly want to check. With the OSEC sheet, which is like smooth. Let's give this like 2 minutes to quickly heat. And then I just want to print the bottom layers again. Need to recalibrate after replacing the gantry and Z drives with CNC parts. Ah, yeah. That, of course, will slow stuff up. Let's give this a shot. Oh yeah, if I already did quad gantry level before the print, I'm not gonna redo it. Like while it keeps its position, I skip that in the beginning. Why is the autofocus so bad? Oh, I think I have center focus on. Let's just give it wide focus and I can pick focus wise I want. CNC parts are mounted but not fired up. Ah, okay. So fresh off the press. Oh, why now it brushes it twice? Why does it that now twice? Okay, I'll need to check my start macros. I guess double brush is always good. Uh, we pistol didn't get started earlier after the first week of printing now. In time save not having to probe all over the bed. Yeah. It's not even probing all over the bed. It's the what really annoys me is the time spent trying to fix tap. That was annoys me. Like waiting per print, I don't care. But the amount of times I had layer inconsistencies because something with tap was off is annoys the hell out of me. Because like usually it's like I want to print something and I don't want to debug the printer. That's the annoying part for me. 700 millimeter, that's it. What wonders, the only thing that wonders me is like for the quad country level, it's very slow in taking the probes. I would have expected it to just like do rounds. That might. Nope, that did not work. But it might be something in the printer config for the quad country level. The nozzle is not 100% clean. I need to like do the brush macro a bit better, I think. Error message was unable to find 5 samples within tolerance after 10 touches. I know Steve will kill me, but I'm very far away from the cargo. And oh, and I used a small brush. I didn't do anything. There's just a bit of gunk on top of the nozzle. So I think the brush macro. Ah no, it took it off. Okay, let's see. So I think the brush macro, it doesn't like fully brush it off. Like I need to check the position is a bit off most likely now. Yeah, now it worked. So I think there was a bit of gunk on the nozzle. Let me also turn off the lights. Yeah, we don't have to flicker stuff. So why I want to test the sheet is that this sheet is very iffy with the Z offset. And I think it didn't do like a very beautiful first layer. That's as far as I wanted to go. It's actually quite okay. Actually quite okay. It focuses. So looks even. Looks good. Okay, I'm sold, Steve. Yes, I will regret it, like a lot, that I didn't do that earlier. The bad part is if we do the index here, like we will lose that again. So that's a bit of the downside of the whole thing. So let's see. Calibration with proper content. Yeah, I redid the calibration already. That is done. That is done. So the only thing I need to fix is the brush macro. And potentially I will reprint the part to get rid of this construction glue stuff there. But I think overall this works. One thing I also have to do at some point is like clean out these toothed idols here. There's some gunk in there. It's not super important, but it's nice. Cool. Yeah, I think this would be all I wanted to do today. And somehow we managed a second stream in a row without major incidents, which I think is a new record. Nothing went horribly wrong. See you in however many weeks. Well, no, yeah, I really give my best to do that every week. But yeah, now I went 1 week to Germany to my parents. And I caught whatever in the train. Came back and like after 3 days or something, I was like sick. And I was like really out for like a couple of days. And then I was better. So last week, technically, I could have done the stream, but my voice was really bad. So if I talked for like 15, 20 minutes, my voice was gone. So yeah, that would not have been a fun stream. Could have done a stream with a sign language or something. Loki, yes, Loki is in cat kindergarten today. I figured because so firstly he was hyperactive the entire day. And with all the soldering, I don't want to have the cat jumping around the entire time. So Loki is at the moment at my neighbor's, where he plays with my neighbor's cat. Um, they're like cat friends. And it's always good because then he comes home and he's like super tired. I like that. Cool. The Satsuma is there waiting. The only thing like I need to do for next stream is basically to cut the screws. And there was one thing I had to order and I didn't order that yet. There was something with the cables. I need to recheck the stream. But besides that, like, yeah, I'm ready for the Satsuma. The only thing is I'm still like concerned about the XY joints being wiggly as hell. So I think that will not work out. So I'm already kind of making plans how to replace the XY motion system a bit. Chances are we're just gonna throw in some linear rails. That's most likely what I will go for. Cool. Okay, but then thank you everyone for tuning in. I think there was a really successful upgrade here. I'm really looking forward of using this machine like next week. And yep, enjoy your weekend. And for sure, 100% see you next week. Until then, bye.